This is the MLM Complete Package podcast. Here's Chris Lopez and Jason Wells.
Well, you just heard the new podcast intro that Jason and I had created a couple weeks ago. So before I jump into details of this podcast, I will spend a minute and tell you the new format we're doing for the MLM Complete podcast. And we're going to doing it more in the form of a radio show where it'll be a longer podcast, usually around 30 or 40 minutes. But rather than just, it's usually like one topic that I do or one topic that Jason does, we're both going to be on the radio show at the same time and cover anywhere from 3 to 6 topics per radio show. Everything from news in the MLM industry, trends, things we're seeing going on, new products we have, just to kind of keep you up to date on everything that's going on. And Jason, I know you've been using podcasting for a long time, much longer than I have. So I want you to kind of share with people so they kind of get the best out of our new format.
Just something that's really obvious is make sure you subscribe. I know that sounds dumb, but I'll go searching for a new podcast. You don't want to commit to it. It's like, I'm not going to subscribe to it until I hear it. And then I forget to subscribe. And then I'm like, well, how come I'm not getting them anymore? Or sometimes I forget about them. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, so you get the radio show. Those of you who are already familiar with us, if you're still here, you like what we have to say. So make sure you get subscribed. If you use iTunes like I do, like all my iTunes podcasts, they actually sync with each other now, which is kind of cool. So I listen to a lot of sports podcasts. I'm into that kind of stuff. So, and a few actually music shows. So I find it really helpful. And, like I said, the thing that separates it and makes it convenient is actually subscribing to it.
And just to clear, subscribing is free for podcasts, right?
Yeah.
So moving on to our first topic, right around Thanksgiving, so end of November, we released some pretty big updates to the MLM Complete Package website and system, and also changed a few things around as well to help you and a lot of your future team to have all the tools and resources you need to grow. So the first thing we did is we've got quite a few courses at our website. The communication, how to get customers, are the our two most popular ones. And these are the same courses we've been using with our own organization for years, and these are the ones we feel like everyone really needs to master. Well, we've been charging a one-time fee for people access, and we know for people who are serious about network marketing, have been around the industry for a bit, people don't bat an eye at spending $100 or a couple $100, all at once to get really good courses that dig into the how-to information. But as we've been talking with various leaders that have come through MLM Complete Package, they've shared with us that, hey, I love your information, we love your courses. I've got brand new team members, and they're in the business for a matter of weeks, and I have a hard time getting them to buy a $200, $300, $400 course package. And I understand that. At one point, I was a new person in network marketing as well on the shoestring budget. And so what we want to do is take those courses, and rather than have them just only as a one-time fee, actually have them be a monthly fee access. So for $29.95, you get access to all the courses, and that way you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars. So that way, if you're on a really tight budget or you've got new team members you're bringing in and you want them to get proper training, how to talk with people, how to get customers, you can get them plugged into MLM Complete Package, and they can spend less than $1 a day to get access to all those courses.
And what's cool about this is we still have our same pricing structure where you can choose, do you want to pay a monthly fee and get access to everything? And obviously, if you go off that, you no longer have access. There are some people that just want to buy it outright and they want to have lifetime access to it. You can still do that. So we're just listening to our customers. We're trying to give people what they're asking for, something that works for us, that makes sense based on what we know about sales and, how do we get properly compensated for all the work that we've put in. But at the same time, we run our own organization, and obviously we don't run into this problem because, our courses are in our system and we don't have that selling them to people or downline. So we suspected this might be a problem, but you don't know until you really test. So, for people out there in the MLM industry that are buying our courses and they're trying to bring our team in, what we suspected is what's happening, and that's the feedback we've gotten. So we're adjusting and trying to make it easy for you to grow your business. So, if that was you, get your team plugged in now, because, if I would have started and there would have been something out there for $30 a month to train my team where I didn't have to worry about, all the little things of teaching them what to do. Go buy this, go buy that. A lot of times there wasn't even a choice to tell people. It was like I'd read 10 books before I figured out how to kind of apply it to MLM. There really wasn't anything when I first started. I had to figure it out as I went along. I would have loved to have something like this to plug my team into. In fact, I don't even know if we would ever made our own courses or built our own system had we had something like this, Chris. It's just the reason why we did it was nothing out there was appropriate or met all our needs. So I don't know, if I was in MLM and I was trying to grow my team and not have to worry about the training part, like, I'd be using it.
Something else why I'm really want to stress this point to people, and again, what you were saying when you're brand new in network marketing is putting me back 10 years too, Jason, is that typically what's out there are four-figure, $1,000 to $2,000 courses. Oh, you want to learn how to sell people? We'll give you this karate, chopping, backflipping ninja secret for $1,000. Whatever hypey names they give these courses, but they charge outrageous prices, apply a lot of hype to it, and then they pay out huge affiliate commissions. And it's more about funding that whole, just selling the huge packages and selling those courses and making a ton of money off of that, rather than actually getting good information into people's hands. Now, I remember facing that dilemma when I was new, and even my first couple of years in the business, I was figuring things out and working my way up the ranks and really building my own organization. I'd spend money on these courses, and hey, if I spend $1,000, I have no problem with that. I just want to make sure I get $1,000 worth of value. And very, very rarely did I get that. And from talking with, I talk with a lot of people that come through MLM Complete Package, and I hear that same story over and over again. And so I share this with you because there's so many people out there, and so many companies and gurus and the experts out there selling these insanely high-priced courses, which have some good information in them, but they're not $1,000, $2,000 pieces of information, in my opinion. But so many people have gotten kind of like conditioned to that. Oh, well, unless something is got a $900 price tag or a $1,400 price tag or some crazy price tag on it, it's not good. And that's not the case. That's just the way we've been conditioned a lot. So I'm saying this to you because we're offering this at a really, really, really fair price. We could charge a lot more for it and do that same model other people have done, but we don't want to do that. Our mission is to go out there and get our business common sense style of training out there. And we'd rather you save the $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 you'd spend on courses this year, get the real training through our courses, and then take that money you would save and apply it to growing your business, to go out there and buy product samples, or go out there and do some advertising, or use that money to go out there and host a local event. So please go out there and use these courses, get your team plugged in, and just keep that in mind that, you know, we try to keep the price very low, but the value really high. So that's kind of major system update number 1. Major system update number 2 is our email enhancement. And this is a really, really powerful program. I know a lot of people out there use some third-party email systems. Aweber, Constant Contact, can't think of the other ones, but you know the services. And those services, they are good services. They are actually great at what they do. But they're not really the best fit for a network marketing distributor. They're a great fit for, you know, small to medium-sized businesses where they've got 10,000, 50,000 subscribers. Not people who are out there in the network marketing industry. And also, again, a lot of people have gotten this. They hear just how amazing email autoresponders are and having email systems are. And yes, they are a powerful piece to the puzzle. But again, this comes back to a lot of people out there saying, hey, you got to have this. Oh, you want this now. Now here, click my affiliate link and come subscribe to this. So putting things in perspective. So we rolled out something in our contact management system at no extra charge. So everyone who currently is a member of our system, you get this feature now for free. And anyone who joins in gets at the same price as our contact management system. So it has all the features that you need to go out there and manage your business. The email autoresponders, the email blast, the list segmentation, the organizing, just everything. And Jason and I use this for our own email list. And we've got email lists with thousands and thousands of people on there, and we use this. So Jason, I know you've got some good tips for people to keep in their mind as they start using and incorporating email marketing.
Tips is kind of probably a kind word. I would say they're bitches, really. I'm going to bitch for a bit. One of the things that drives me nuts is, again, these people out there that are selling a bill of goods on, oh, well, if you just get an email autoresponder, it's going to change your business. And here's my problem with that. Remember, and what I'm going to say is not a newsflash to any of you. This is a relationship business, which means you actually have to talk to people. I know that's newsflash. You got to talk to people. Now, does an email autoresponder talk to people? Well, I guess you could call that communication. No, I mean a real conversation where, like, there's a two-way conversation. You're not texting, you're not emailing, you're actually talking to someone. Yeah, you actually have to do that to grow this business. Note the sarcasm. So, you know, what we see an email list as is something to support you in your connections with people. And so don't replace your conversations with an email list. Have your email list support the sales cycle. Now that brings me to my next bitch. None of these autoresponders out there, which that's fine. They're good for what they do. It's like Chris said, all these services, they're really good at what they do, which is sending emails. But the problem is email autoresponders, and it's not their fault because, you know, people are using them for what they're not designed to do. Email autoresponders don't support a sales cycle or even consider what's going on in a sales cycle. Well, I know what the rebuttal is going to be. Well, that's not true, Jason. I can set up different statuses and different lists. And okay, yeah, but then is the average downline member going to spend hours moving contacts around as their status changes in the sales cycle? Now, if I'm above you right now a bit, now I'm not trying to sound condescending. I'm just saying if you don't know what I'm talking about because you're fairly new, that's fine. I'm just stating that in the sales cycle, a prospect can be at the beginning or end or the middle. And so what email you send a new prospect as opposed to somebody you're closing into the business or as a customer, they're completely different people, and you don't want to send the same email to them. So a lot of these email lists, you can set up different lists. You can call it like closing list, new prospect list, presenting list, whatever you want to call it. And we have our own sales cycle. We have in our communication training and in our system, we talk about those various cycles. But if you're developing a prospect, you could, which is one of our steps, you could actually set up a list in these autoresponders. The problem is you practically have to be a programmer to do it. I know leaders in the industry that do it, and they spend hours just managing your list. What if it was just done for you automatically? What if your email list actually communicated with your contact manager and the sales cycle? And what if that email list knew where your contact or prospect was in the sales cycle, so it's mindful and intelligent and understands that, hey, I don't want to send the new prospect email to this person because now they're in the closing phase. So this is my bitch, is that sometimes, we've been doing this for so long that Chris and I think, are a little too advanced sometimes, and people don't really understand what they have in front of them. And it's hard to explain, but all I can say to you is if you're building an MLM and you're not using our autoresponder, it's not that those other ones out there that have been doing it a lot longer than us aren't good. They're just not made for what we do. They're made for a newsletter list on a website, where people put their email in and they want to stay in touch, which we have on our websites too. They're not made to support, hardcore sales cycle dialogue that you're having with your contacts. So in a sales business, they're just not made for that. And I only know of one that actually does that. And even you have to program it, and it's in the hundreds of dollars a month, last I checked. So there really isn't anything out there. So for like $30 a month, you're going to go to Complete Contact Manager that also has an email list and also is far advanced beyond what's out there. So just keep that in mind, that you can't replace your conversations with emails. And it really doesn't do you any good to have an email list that doesn't consider your conversations in the sales cycle. And that's just my pet peeve out there. And people, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you got to get with it and understand, get our communication training and learn our communication process so you understand a sales cycle. Get our system, and then when you go in and you look at the email list and how it operates, and you have the communication training in mind, you're going to understand what I'm talking about, and then the light bulb's going to go off, and you're going to be like, okay, this makes sense now. I don't want to send the same email to somebody that's already a customer or is in the closing phase or I'm presenting to right now that I would be sending to somebody who's a brand new contact. It doesn't make any sense.
And talking about the sales cycle there, where I'm seeing a lot of people already use this feature, and so far the main interest has been around taking care of people's customers. And this is something that I don't see, various internet marketers, ever talk about, or the different, autoresponder services promote, because again, this is kind of unique to the MLM industry. And I'm not just talking about having a customer email list where you send out 2 or 3 emails a month and you hit all of your customers. We've got that, that's nice, and it's a nice piece of the overall retention and generating referral process. But, a lot of MLM companies and a lot of people who listen to our radio show are in the nutrition based business, and they a lot of times various cleanses or detox programs or weight loss programs, often ranging between 5 and 21 days is kind of the range I see a lot of these different programs do. And so what I've been helping a lot of people do is take their main cleansing or detox product or weight loss product and then build a series of autoresponders that match up with the sales cycle. So, getting people on before, and then having your start date of January XXX, starting that date. And then once you got those 10 or 20 or 25 people on there, with a few clicks of your mouse in the system, all those people can then be added to that autoresponder specific group. So they get a series of emails, whether it's one email every day or an email every other day, whatever's appropriate for your program you're doing. And that gives them the information, that drips the information on there, gives them those gentle reminders, give them those touches on, hey, stay strong, remember to do this, or here's why our product has this, or here's what makes this different from what you can buy at the store down the street, or blah blah blah. You get my point. And so this becomes very, very powerful in that part of the sales cycle, and that's really where you turn a customer. It's not just selling a product one time. It's successfully helping your person or helping your customer use that product and them feeling a benefit. If you've got someone, they come through a weight loss program, they lose 10 pounds, or they get a lot of energy, or you detox their body, and they just feel, they feel so much better at the end of it. Well, guess what? You've got a customer who's going to become a raving customer, who'll probably give you a few referrals, might even become a distributor down the road, and so stay on the product. And if you've heard any of our podcasts or read our book or heard of our training courses, we're big on getting customers, because that is the backbone of building a long-term MLM business, having a strong customer base. So I share this with you as just another way you can use our email system, and that's also one of the major benefits. And Jason was talking about how this integrates with the sales cycle and the contact management system. So having the contact system and the email system on the same platform, so they're all talking with each other, just really, really makes it much more powerful. So the next major update we have is something around our White Label program. And we've had requests for this for quite a while, and now we've made it so it's very simple for us to do. And let me start off by White Label. So a leader of an MLM organization can plug into our system and set up their own version of the system, so it's completely branded to that leader's name or their team organization name, with their logo, their own website to log into, their own emails auto-populated in there, their own training courses. So as a new distributor comes on board, they can join, start your fast start training or start your boot camp training right away, and have everything all in one spot. So system, email system, training, marketing platform, lead cooperatives, lead generation, everything in one spot. And so that's what I mean by a white label program. So we've had the ability to do that for a while, but it took a lot of work on our end, and we've gotten quite a few things streamlined. So now we're able to get it set up much quicker than we used to be able to, and also doesn't cost us nearly as much programming time and administrative time for our staff to set up. Because we want to, our belief with working with people has always been generating long-term relationships. That's worked for our own network marketing business, the other businesses we start, and also through MLM Complete Package. We want people to help people successfully grow their MLM organization. First off, we like that. It's a nice feeling to have, to see someone successfully create a new stream of income and be able to retire from their job or supplement their retirement or do whatever, kind of really gain that independence. It's a kick-ass feeling to get. But also, we know if you're starting network marketing, you don't have $20,000 to go out there and hire programmers. And we spent way more than $20,000 in our system. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last couple of years on developing all this. But do it in a way to where it's very affordable for someone to start up. Doesn't take a whole lot of time, but you've got something in place that can grow with your organization. Whether you have 50 people now and some really good downline to grow from 50 to 500 to 5,000 to 50,000. All that's in place, and our system can do that there. Now, Jason, something you would mention as we were making our outline for the radio show is about all the people. We've had quite a few people call us inquiring about our white label program, but more so because they're trying to start their own MLM organization, like their own MLM business, I should say, like a corporate MLM.
Yeah, well, I'll keep this short and sweet. If you're trying to start your own MLM and you've never made money in MLM, like you're trying to take your product to MLM, or you're not working with a leader that has or let's add another one on there, or you talk to us and you find out that, well, you're going to need a system for your future organization. And this is what it's going to cost to get it started. And if that's too much money for you, our white label program, like, you shouldn't be starting an MLM. Just so you know, like, we know people in the industry that have started MLMs. We know people that have been intimately involved in corporate structure that are different companies. And it's a minimum of $5 million to start an MLM. And that's like a shoestring budget. And so I don't know, like, I'm sure a lot of these people are just like completely lost and they don't even know what they're doing. But I think there's a few in there that are really serious, that actually have a product and are trying to find a way to promote their business. Like, I find it hard to believe that people really think they can start an MLM when they themselves have no experience in MLM. They don't reach out to anyone that maybe has successfully built an MLM. And, I know there's a lot of leaders out there that have a desire to start their own company. That's fine, because a lot of those leaders have made a ton of money in MLM. They understand like how the industry works. They've made money in it. They've been successful in growing an organization. They know what they don't know, so they know who to hire. Like, I don't have a problem with that. It's these people that I can speculate just in talking to them, and I know you can too, Chris, that they've never made a dime in MLM and they're trying to start an MLM. And I don't want to go down a negative road and spend 5-10 minutes on this subject, just to state that if that's you, like, you need to really back up and think about, why you're doing what you're doing, because you're going down a road of no return, and you're probably going to end up in a crash.
And so our white label is really geared towards leaders, distributors who have organizations. And we've got a lot of people who work with us are on the newer side of the industry, or I call them up and coming leaders. They've got a customer base. They're getting things figured out. They're getting organizations built, usually around 50 to 100 people, kind of overall. So really starting to kind of get that growth mode going, getting that good base going. I've talked to quite a few people like that, and people are very interested in starting their white label program, but they're still juggling working their full-time job, usually growing their MLM. It just comes down to I'm too busy right now. I don't have time to do it, but I know I need to. And you're right, you do need to. And it's one of those things where, as one of the things you have to keep in mind as you go from distributor, and that's really more of like salesman, to going more towards a sales leader, sales manager, and organization leader, is you've got to make sure you're getting those things built in place for your overall duplication and the long term. That's why years ago, Jason and I started building, this system. Now it's evolved a few times, but we started building that because if we want to have this take off to where we know our business can go, we need to have our own system with this, and this in place. And so you need to find the time sooner rather than later, because what I've seen happen so many times is that people have that momentum, but then since there's really no training program in place, there's no common system in place, there's no online community being fostered, there's just really nothing in place to hold the organization together, that 100-person organization all of a sudden falls apart in a matter of a few weeks or a month or two, and then you're almost back at the starting block where you've got 20 people left on buying the products or buying your service, but no one out there actually building the business. And a lot of times that can be, you can avoid that by having a system in place. And I say system, having a contact system, having a training program, having something come into place. So, hey, you tell your downline, when you sign someone up, they go here, they create a free account, they go through our fast start training, or we call our boot camp training, and it takes them through this, this, and this. And then they do this, and you got everything outlined so people know exactly what to do. That's really what our white label program does. And last thing I'll say is keep in mind, we have built an MLM business. We own this code. We build the code. We're continually updating it. So we don't only help people figure out the technical aspect, we got to load this, this, and this. We also can give you advice on, okay, from a training and leading standpoint, we may want to do this instead of this because here's how it's going to impact through your downline. We've had ideas over the, we're going to build this feature in the system and it's going to we're going to just have this, we're going to blow up because with these people in our downline, and then it just falls flat on its face. And that's part of the process. So we've been through those bumps, and we can help you avoid them and give you, some knowledge as well as the best way to format things and outline things. And I know we've mentioned, every time we set up a white label, it's a custom fee, but usually it's in the $1,000 to $2,000 range for initial setup. So that is almost nothing when you're looking at setting up a system, getting your own training in there, and also getting help from people who've been in your shoes and have grown a successful organization. Now, Jason, this next topic, I know you've got some things to say about this, but the whole topic of getting the right mindset of being a professional or being an amateur or being a winner or loser when it comes to building MLM.
Yeah, I always get grouchy this time of year because not just with my own downline, but with the whole industry. Because what happens in December is everyone decides to stop building because they're, quote, busy. And the ironic thing is this is the best time of the year to grow your business. And it just is. There's so many opportunities to talk to people and have conversations, and you just never know where they'll lead. But that's the first thing. So, thinking about stopping and starting, first of all, you're wasting an excellent opportunity in December because everyone's so busy with Christmas and holidays and everything. That's actually the perfect time to build. You're wasting that opportunity. Then you're stopping and starting your business. So when you take the foot off the gas, it just makes it 10 times as hard to get going again when January comes around and you're like, well, I'm going to do this. This is going to be my year for MLM. This is the year. I don't know how many times I hear that. But just down to, dealing with people at MLM CP, most people are good. But when you deal with the percentage, there's always the percentage, the percentage of the idiots. And I say idiots, not keeping appointments, not doing the stuff they're supposed to be doing. It's just people want to blame MLM for why they're not making money. And, I know we talk a lot. We hold MLM accountable, Chris and I. It's not like we're not down on MLM for the things that we need to be down on. Like, as people in the industry, we don't think it's all great. Like, we can see what needs improvement so we can make the industry better. People focusing on more customers, actually having good training, helping your team, all those things. Like, anyone that's followed us knows that whereas, I would say we argue both sides when it comes to MLM. What's great about it, what's bad about it. We can see what needs improvement. All that said, for the people that complain about it, I'd say half the problems, if not more, are themselves. So if you're not keeping appointments with people, Like you make an appointment and then you don't show up. If you're not doing anything really on your business, if you're taking December off, I'm sorry, like this may sound harsh, but that's just like a loser mentality. Like you can't, that's what amateurs do. You know, anyone else running any other business, they're not going to take December off. Like you can't. Like you have to grow. You have to keep doing what you're doing. And I'll just leave you with this. If you're wondering where you stand, just ask yourself in the last month, how many people did you present your company or product to? I'm not asking you how many customers you got or how many people you recruited, just how many people you presented to, like where you actually introduced your product. And if it's in the single digits, like you need to like reassess where you're at, because that's not going to get you anywhere. And you know, just call me grouchy Jason in December if you want, but that's just a dead indication usually of how people act in December is how generally their year is reflected.
I could not agree with you more, Mr. Grouchy Jason. I won't beat the point to death. But with that point in mind, use Jason's observation and take it to heart. Look at what you're doing, and or what you're not doing, and figure out what you're going to do to start changing your activity level around. Are you taking your business serious enough, or are you not? I mean, what are you doing? So we're recording this radio show about 10 days before New Year's Eve. So we're at the end of 2014. And as Jason said, this is a time to go out there and really be promoting your product, especially if you're in a wellness business. This is a time out there to really be developing people and getting and introducing people to the business side of things. Because you know what? This is not a newsflash to you, but January 1st rolls around, and so do people's New Year's resolutions. I want to lose weight. I want to get healthier. I want to get out of the second job. I need to save more for retirement. People start making those resolutions and they start making those goals. So if you've been doing your work and doing your legwork in December, really that time between Thanksgiving to the New Year's, if you've been doing that work, you will reap that reward in January. And if you're not reaping that reward, someone else is going to. So keep that in mind. And if you have not been doing anything since Thanksgiving, well, go have your pity party for 5 minutes and get mad at yourself and be upset and, whatever, and then get over it. Allow yourself 5 minutes, get over it. You know what? You still have time before New Year's Eve. Get out there, start talking to people, start getting a plan in place. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just go out there and start getting that activity level up. How many people are you talking to about your product? How many people are you talking to about your company? If you've got a program, I mentioned earlier, like a weight loss program or detox program, something geared towards health. If you have a program like that with your company or something that your team has developed using a combination of the products of your company, get something planned for early January or mid-January. Get together your weight loss group, or get together your detox group, or get together your whatever group, and start promoting it. And then you know what? When that day comes, January 10th or January 15th or whatever you choose, you'll have some customers. You'll have people doing that group. Plus, you'll have your downline doing the group. They'll be buying the products. They'll be out there talking with people. And so my message with this is just go out there and start doing some activity. Don't let this end of 2014 you slowly roll into 2015 with no momentum and no activity. Get momentum now, get your activity up, go into 2015 doing stuff, and that'll help you have a great 2015. So that's all I have to say on that note. Jason, what words of wisdom do you have for our listeners out there?
How about not make me grouchy next December? That's it. I don't want to be a grouch next December, so do something.
All right, everyone. Well, that is our radio show. Hope you got some great information out of it. And if you've got any questions or comments, put it below the YouTube video, send us an email, leave it on our Facebook page, put it on the blog entry, whatever. We check all those things. Let us know. If you've got specific questions on some of those updates we did to the system and incorporating them into your business or your team, let us know. Go call the number we have on the website. I'd say it now, but I don't have it memorized. Go to the number and give us a call. And you know what? You can actually set up a consultation with either Jason or I. We'll actually take some time, 10, 15 minutes for free, and help you point you in the right direction. Hey, based on where you're at, you should probably take this course or do this. So use us. Use the resources we have. We like to keep that direct connection with distributors out there in the industry. We like to stay in the trenches. So you know what? That's our offer to you. Please use it. But if you make the appointment or call us, please follow through, as Jason just mentioned. If you've got any specific questions when it comes to building your MLM organization or just building in general, leave a comment and we will incorporate that question or that topic into a future radio show. So have a great New Year's, everyone.